Okay, so welcome back, and here we are with the completed Rubicon Models T55. So all the weathering's done, everything's attached now to it. So the process I used, really, as we know, I base coated it in LP56 dark green 2, and then did a very subtle highlight with the olive drab shine from MIG. And then I went in and I used Tamiya panel line accent colour, and I did a 50-50 mix essentially of dark brown and black. And what that's done is allowed these sort of panel lines here, all the panel lines, kind of brings them out nicely, and accentuates some of that detail. So then what I did is I then essentially removed the excess panel line, and then I did some sponge chipping. So you'll see certainly around the side of the turret here, along the top of this chipping here, and I used two colors. So I used both model color, German camouflage black, or German camo black, and German gray, just to give a bit of tonal variation on the chipping itself, which has worked quite well. Then essentially I went in and started to add some sort of dirt and dust. So what we'll see around the front here, and on the tracks, etc., we've got this kind of reddy dirt color. So the way I did that is I used two pigments. So first I went in with dark mud, which is by MIG, P033, and then once that was done, I then went in with P031, which is the Vietnam Earth, which gives it this red tone, essentially. Then I fixed that pigment in place with VMS satin varnish, acrylic varnish. And once I'd done that, I then went in and did the rust effects on the spare tracks here, and the rust effect on the exhaust here. And the way we did that, or I did that, was with Typhous Corrosion from Citadel, and then a dry brush of Skrag brown from Citadel. So that took care of the rust effects. And then we needed some final sort of dust effect. So I used my old favourite Citadel Ushabti bone. You can see it pronounced on the side here of these fuel tanks, and just a very light dry brush around all the raised edges, just to bring those out, make them pop against everything else. So that's how I did that. And then essentially I flat coated it with VMS flat varnish. Only other things really to mention, the tracks themselves, they were painted or primed in Mr. Surface of 1500 black. I then painted them in NATO black from Tamiya, the XF. And then I dry brushed them very lightly with lead Belcher, which is Citadel metallic. So you can see sort of in the middle here, on the guide horns, we've got this kind of exposed metal where the dirt would be knocked off as the vehicle's moving. And then the only other thing I did was the log at the back. So this does come in the kit, but the grain isn't quite as pronounced as that in the kit itself. So I just scratched that with a razor saw. I then primed and painted it really in Citadel Wraithbone. Once that was dry, I went in and then put a coat of Citadel Skeleton Horde contrast paint over the top of the Wraithbone, which sort of relaxed went into all the recesses of the grain texture. And then I went in with a dry brush again of a Ushabti bone, masked it off, and just painted the brackets in the same way as I painted the rest of the green on the tank. So that's it, it's done. It's an absolutely lovely kit, an absolute joy to build, joy to paint, really good. And as you can see at this scale, the level of detail is just phenomenal. So yeah, really happy with that. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to go on a base, and we're going to turn it into a little diorama. So the idea is I'm going to use some Rubicon figures, some US Army Vietnam figures, kind of stalking this T55 with an anti-tank weapon. So a bit of an anti-tank team, stalking it from a position of cover ready to take it out. So when we come back in the next video, we'll be talking about the base and how I'm going to do that. But it'll be quite a simple dio with this anti-tank team stalking the North Vietnamese T55 as it moves through the jungle. That's the idea. So there we go. We are done. The T55 is complete. On that note, I'll say thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Go out and get one of these for sure. They're really cool. And this will be part of one of my entries into the T55 special interest group over on the Black Rifle Model Works community group Facebook page. So yeah, go and get one. They're really cool, and they go together really well. Lots and lots of options. Until next time, guys, stay safe, happy hobbying. Bye bye.